Hello there. Hi. Welcome to our week 2 of our Healing Adventure Challenge. I hope you had a really nice first week. So this week we are lighting our second candle, which is the candle of peace. So let's dive straight into it, and we will start by looking at the word peace and its meaning. So let's go. The definition of peace from the dictionary means freedom from disturbance, a state or a period in which there is no war or a war has ended. And the definition of peace from the Strong's Concordance is, which means that that's the biblical definition of peace, safe. It means well, it means happy, it means welfare, it means health, it means prosperity, it means rest, and it means whole. I like that last word, right? Now, peace in Hebrew is translated as shalom. Before we do this, I'm going to give you a little backstory so that you understand what I'm going to be explaining next, right? The Hebrew language, what we need to know about it is like it's very different from English or from French. The Hebrew alphabet uses a pictographic script. What does that mean? That means that each letter of the alphabet represents a sound and a picture. It has a sound and an image. So let's break down that Hebrew word shalom, which means peace, and see what it's all about. So the word shalom means to be complete, to be whole, or to be safe. To be complete, to be whole, or to be safe. So let's look at the ancient picture language behind that word shalom. And the word shalom has 3 alphabets, which are the Shin, the Lamed, and the Mem. Shin, Lamed, and Mem, right? I've actually studied Hebrew during my first degree. Like, I didn't study Hebrew to speak Hebrew, but to be able to study the Bible, because the Old Testament is my book, right? I love the Old Testament. I'm very fascinated by it. So it really helps when you're studying the words, right? But unfortunately, I haven't written in Hebrew for a long time, so I didn't write it for you to show you what it looks like. I could have. I'll see perhaps next time, right? But you can go in Google and have a little look. It's a beautiful, really beautiful writing. So let's go back. Please stay with me. We're going somewhere, right? I'm gonna try to make it as simple as I can, but this revelation is gonna blow your mind. So the first letter of the word shalom is the Shin. And the Shin is represented by the picture of a thorn. A thorn. Remember when St. Paul says that I have a thorn in my flesh that I can't get rid of? Yeah, that's it. That's the thorn. That's the letter, the alphabet Shin represents. And think of the thorn as it represents the pain, trouble. It will be your brokenness, your heartbreak, everything that causes you pain and trouble. The second letter is the letter Lamed, and the Lamed is represented as the shepherd staff. The shepherd staff, the stick that the shepherd uses for various things, right? And this represents protection, guidance, sometimes teaching. It depends on the circumstance, but most part it will be protection and guidance. And the last letter would be a Mem, and Mem represents water, and water means chaos. Now let us look at the word picture that we can get from this. We actually have 2 illustrations that we can get from it. So think about a real shepherd, an actual shepherd back in the days. Sheep will go about walking around and they will have like thorns being literally stuck in their flesh while they're going into bushes and stuff. So the shepherd will use his staff to remove the thorn from their flesh to make sure that they're okay, right? Because it hurts. If we have like a thorn in our flesh, it hurts. So the first illustration that we get from the word shalom is the shepherd uses its staff, the shepherd's staff. Remember, it's the lamed, to remove the thorn, which is the shin, from the sheep, so that he can take away the mem, which is the chaos, the thing that's causing them pain. Right? Now, how does this relate to us? Because we are sheep and not sheep, right? We are God's sheep, but yes, how does it relate to us? So the shepherd, we know who the good shepherd is, Jesus. He uses his staff to remove the thorn. Anything that can represent the thorn is heartbreak, hurt, rejection, brokenness, etc. You name it, to remove the thorn from our flesh, from what's hindering us, so that he can take away the chaos that's going on in our life, the brokenness, the thing that's making us not whole, right? That's the first illustration. The second, remember, we're still thinking about the sheep in the real context. When the shepherd will go to sleep at night, because they will be in the wilderness sleeping or out, right? To protect the sheep, what the shepherd will do, they will put literally bushes of thorns around the sheep so that when they're sleeping, predators, wolves cannot come in and take the sheep away, right? So the second illustration that we get from this is the shepherd, which is the lamed, uses thorns, puts thorns around the sheep, the thorns, which is the shin, around the sheep, to protect them from any chaos, which is the mem, which represents all the predators, and all the predators represent everything that's in our life and coming at us. In other words, shalom means taking away everything that's bad, that's not supposed to be in your life. That is the hurt, the brokenness, the unworthiness, the heartbreaks, the inability to connect with God. All of these things that you're going through, it is taking this away so that you can be made whole and complete. But it is also adding all the good things that's supposed to be there for you to be whole. For example, all the being worthy, confidence, peace of mind, joy, rest, adding all these things for you to be whole and complete. That's what the word shalom in the Hebrew language really means. True peace or shalom is about being whole, lacking nothing good and having nothing bad being added. Shalom is not about an absence. Remember, the definition of the dictionary of peace means absence of war. Shalom, the true peace, is not about an absence of something. It's the presence of someone. And who is that someone? Isaiah has that answer for us. So Isaiah 9 verse 6 says, "For a child will be born to us, a son will be given to us, and the government will rest on his shoulders, and his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Eternal Father, Prince of Peace." Prince of Peace. Jesus, he's the Prince of Peace coming to us during Advent and at Christmas. It is in him, Jesus, that you're made whole, where all the broken pieces of your life is brought back together in his peace. Philippians 4:7 says, "And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart and your minds in Christ Jesus." You know, when God sent Jesus to the world, he knew that we would need peace. He knew that in that chaotic world, the thing that we would need the most would be peace. This is why he sent Jesus as the Prince of Peace into our own chaos. Last week, we talked about hope, and knowing Jesus as the Prince of Peace is the secret for you to find that hope. Because hope needs an anchor. Hope cannot just be in thin air somewhere. Hope needs an anchor. And Hebrews says, and we have that hope as an anchor for our soul, firm and secure, right? So having hope needs an anchor. It cannot just be flying in thin air, right? There needs to be something that anchors your hope. And that something is peace. It's shalom. It is what gives you that expectation for the future, for the thing that you're hoping for. It is the thing that gives you the ability to wait for it, to tarry for it, right? It's that peace, it's that shalom. Remember step 1 of last week's assignment? You had to go back and recall who God is, right? And knowing that Jesus, that God is the Prince of Peace, is what really anchors your hope. It's what really gives you that ability to sustain and stay in that hope, knowing that Jesus is the Prince of Peace. So let's have a look at this week's heart work assignment. This week it will be all about how to find peace in the pieces of your brokenness. How to find peace in the pieces of your brokenness. This week we have 3 steps again, but the interesting thing is we have 3 hours again. This time I didn't plan it. It was just like when I was looking at it, I was like, oh my goodness, that's interesting. These 3 hours too. Looks like God is saying something about the hours. I don't know what he's saying. You go and ask him and you come back and tell me, right? So let's go. Number 1. Step 1. The first hour is run to the Prince of Peace. Number 1. Run. Literally. Take your 2 shoes and run to the Prince of Peace. Remember, peace is not an absence of something, but the presence of someone, and that someone is the Prince of Peace. So run to him. Stay in his presence. How do we do that? Prayer, number 1. Please pray. Have this intimate conversation with him, right? You don't have to be doing lots of and all kind of prayers. What do we pray for? We have to have prayer points. Stay in his presence. Talk to him like a friend talk to another friend. Have a conversation. What, Lord, this is what's going on in my life right now. This is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling heartbroken. I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling this and that. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. Talk to him and wait for him to reply. So stay in the place of prayer. This is how you run to him. Every time things is happening, there's fire on the mountain, run to him. Run to the Prince of Peace. When you feel that there's a lot of worry, you're scared, things are happening and you don't know how to fix it, rest, go and sit and stay with the Prince of Peace. Other ways that you can do this: worship. Worship is a really, really good tool for you to be in the presence of the Prince of Peace. It really calms you down and brings you to that to center, to find that peace, right? Number 2, release it to the Prince of Peace. All the thoughts, all the negative emotions, all the worries, all the limiting beliefs, just release it to the Prince of Peace. Give it to him, right? There's lots of things that are out of our control and we can't change, so just release it, right? 2 Corinthians 10 verse 5 says, casting down arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. Remember the knowledge of God. We know who God is now. What's the knowledge of him that we have right now? He is the Prince of Peace. So every thought that exalts itself above God, bring it. Literally, the word says like bring every thought into captivity under the obedience of Christ. So all these inner chatter, everything that's happening up there, and you're thinking too much, and all the worries, everything, all the fears, bring all these under the obedience of Christ, under the submission of the Prince of Peace. This is how you release it to the Prince of Peace. Number 3 is rest in the Prince of Peace. Rest in the Prince of Peace. Firstly, literally, just rest in Him. There are lots of things that you cannot change, and He is the Prince of Peace. He has everything in His hands, right? Just relax and just rest in Him, knowing that He is willing and He is able to change your situation and whatever you're going through right now. So just rest in Him, having that confidence that Jesus is the Prince of Peace, and I'm going to rest in that. Secondly, rest literally in the physical. Rest. You need rest. Your body needs to rest. The way that I see healing and the way that I work around healing, I believe that healing needs to be actually a holistic approach, because some people like deal with the spiritual part of healing, some deal with the emotional part of healing, others deal with the physical part of healing or the psychological part of healing. I believe, and the way that I work with my clients is like my approach is a holistic approach. I believe that we need all these little separate dimensions and areas. All of them needs to be, because we all connected, right? And this is where things doesn't work sometimes, because we deal with the different components separately. It needs to be together because we're connected, right? So my approach, my healing approach, is a holistic one. So I believe that all of the areas needs to be looked at and worked on. So your body, that physical body that God gave you, it needs rest. Sometimes we keep going, sometimes, most of the time, and I'm talking for myself right now, don't worry about that. Because life is lifing. Life gets busy. The show needs to go on. So we go, and we don't rest. We think that we don't need rest. And I don't know, it definitely comes from the enemy. How we ended up thinking that we don't need to rest, right? God created the heaven and the earth, and on the seventh day, He rested. And we think, as human beings, we don't need to rest. We can just go, and we can do everything. No, we need to literally rest our bodies, because when God created us, He knew that we needed to rest because we're limited, right? So rest, literally rest your body. Take some days off over the holidays. Spend some time, just go to the beach, stop, smell the flowers, go on vacation, do something for yourself. Leave that house. You don't have to get it clean for Christmas that much, right? You know, all the glasswares in the whatever ozoche that you have, leave it. Who cares? You need rest. Just rest and relax. Make sure that your body also needs healing. Your body needs to relax. And because if your body is not rested, is not in the place where it needs to be, everything crumbles. And this is why I believe that healing is a holistic thing, because the moment part of it is not aligned, is not okay, all the other parts, like it's like a domino effect, everything will just crumble, right? So rest, please, I'm begging you. Take time off, do something for yourself, relax, go to the beach, do something for yourself, rest, sleep. Sleep is a big one. Even when we literally sleeping, but our mind is not sleeping, our head keeps going, go, what we're doing tomorrow, I need to do this and that. And I'm very guilty of that too, right? So rest. Make sure that you're resting in the Prince of Peace, literally. So that's all I have for you for today, for week 2. Please let me know, I don't know, in the comment section, on the Facebook group, in my DMs, in my messenger, how are you going? How are you doing with the challenge? Are you still on track? Are you falling off the wagon? Do you need further help? Do you need questions answered? If you have questions, please feel free to send me your questions any way you want to send it. Yeah, I will be very happy to hear from you, because it feels very lonely on this side of the kingdom, right? So let's connect and say something, and let me know how I can serve you better. Yes, and I've got something that I want to share with you, that I will make sure that I do this, if not today, tomorrow, of what's been happening on my own journey of Advent and what God said. And yes, I'm going to share this with you later. See you soon. I'll see you next week. Bye bye for now.